Welcome along to Film Talk. I'm Richard Edwards, and today we're going to talk about When 8 Bells Toll from the book by Alistair Maclean. Now, when you talk about Alistair Maclean, you might think of, quite rightly, one of the best thriller writers we've ever had, whose breakthrough book in 1955, HMS Ulysses, was an absolute international bestseller. Of course, it was written about the Baltic convoys and the Royal Navy ships that were escorting the convoys, something Alistair Maclean knew an awful lot about, having served in the Royal Navy during the Second World War and was on those convoys. But it was his second book that really made the best film at the cinema. It's only his first big film at the cinema. Now here's a guy who's written something like 20 books, most of them absolutely excellent. For me, Alistair Maclean was one of the best thriller writers of all time, which is why I've got all of his books. The first of the books were extremely good, very, very popular, great writing. But as he got a bit older and the alcohol took over, unfortunately the quality of his writing did dip somewhat towards the end. But I think it's his second novel that was by far the one that catapulted him into films. Now, most of his books have been turned into films of dubious quality, most of them. But there's two or three that really stand out. And that's his second novel, The Guns of Navarone, which was an absolutely stunning book, beautifully written, slightly different to the film, but a great thriller all the same, and a terrific film too. And the next major blockbuster for Alistair Maclean was Where Eagles Dare. Now you might think, yes, the film was based on the book. Well, actually it was the other way around. He was commissioned to write the screenplay first, which he did as a vehicle for Richard Burton, his near neighbour in Switzerland. But he had a deal with the producers that he could then write the novel based on the screenplay. And that's how this book, Where Eagles Dare, came about and was, like all the others, a huge international bestseller.
Have you located the missing vessel?
Could be 100 miles away by now. Any direction, different colours, different markings, different flags.
Remember the Guns of Navarone, Ice Station Zebra, Where Eagles Dare. Now, the screen's greatest high adventurer, Alistair Maclean, turns to the high seas, and the hunt is on.
But the film I want to concentrate on today is also a great film, not as well known as some of the others, but a great film all the same, and also based on a terrific book. Here we are, and it is When 8 Bells Toll, starring Anthony Hopkins. The film centres around a British Treasury Agent, Philip Calvert, played by Anthony Hopkins, who's called back to undertake an investigation when the Nanceville, a ship that's carrying £8 million in gold bullion, disappears. It's not the first ship to disappear carrying gold bullion, and the Treasury really want to know what's going on. So Calvert leads an investigation.
The law were genuine. You can't imitate coppers as good as that.
The customs weren't. They said they'd been on 13 boats. They look as if they'd just come out of the dry cleaners. One of them said, "Boats on my line." Now, what sort of remark is that for a customs man to make?
What's really interesting is the character of Calvert and Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of him is really an attempt to get into the James Bond theme and create another secret agent style movie.
Yes, quite an impressive record, I suppose. I see here that, like all men employed in highly specialized branches, you have a rather questionable attitude towards authority. I don't know that I care for that. It says here, unsuitable for routine investigation. Operates best under conditions of extreme pressure. At this level, he's unique.
Robert Morley plays the Treasury Chief who sends Calvert up to the Scottish Locks to try and look for the Nanceville.
What did you find out?
Well, firstly, it's an accident-prone area, or at least recently. Disasters at sea, deaths, disappearances, fishing boats, yachts.
Exactly when, I wonder? What else did you find out?
Personal tragedy ashore as well. Oh, something else. You know that boat belongs to?
Scooters, yes, I know.
Oh, you do.
Calvert is supported by another agent by the name of Hazlitt, and while they're up in Scotland, they're posing as marine biologists. They come across a yacht called the Shangri-La, owned by Sir Anthony Skouras, who's played by Jack Hawkins. Now, this is after Jack Hawkins had had a cancer operation to remove his larynx, and his voice was dubbed by Charles Gray. You don't see him credited on the film, but it's definitely Charles Gray's voice that you hear.
We thought that it was time that we should meet our new neighbours. May I introduce Mr. Lavoski, Mr. McCullum, and Lady Skouras.
Calvert eventually finds the Nanceville. It's not on the lock anywhere, it's under it. They've taken the gold and scuttled the ship, and that's how they're getting away with it. He tracks down the criminals, tracks down all those who've been kidnapped from the ships that have gone missing, and launches an attack to try and retrieve them from a castle on the Scottish Locks. great scenery in Scotland. It really does help it stand out. In fact, the scenery is almost a character itself. It's a homegrown thriller from a British writer, filmed in Britain with a British character, but had an international appeal. The film was really successful in its kind of way, but it didn't, in the end, threaten the James Bond franchise, and we didn't see Philip Calvert becoming that international spy that James Bond did over the years with multiple films.
No! Please! You're making a terrible mistake!
All right, all right.
Charlie! Get Charlie!
Old Charlie Lloyd?
Yes!
My God, there's nothing sacred, is there?
It's an absolute gem of an Alistair Maclean film. Probably the top 3 of the best films made of his books. Lots of other films have been made that have been absolute turkeys in my view. The Satan Bug, to name but one. But a good film all the same. Good story, homegrown, great character, British character, set in Scotland, wonderful scenery, can't go wrong. And a nice, tight thriller story from Alistair Maclean. Absolutely well worth a view. It's out there on DVD, digital services. It is available to watch. And I think if you get the chance, give it a go. Be great to know what you think, so do leave some comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit that little bell icon to get a notification every time we release a new video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.